All right, guys. So one thing that chat's been asking me for a lot is what is my Labyrinth team, right? I've done plenty of how to beat Labyrinth, how to do it free to play, how to not use limiteds or collabs, how to, struggle through it relatively easy, all that kind of good stuff. But people have said, but what do you use? We don't want to see free to play. We don't want to see easy to do. We want to see what is your best foot forward. What team do you use to beat Labyrinth? So I'm going to show those off real quick. So this is my Vera team. And it's a very clean, fast, successful Vera team. I'll go over the stats real quick. First, I've got a Mascot Hazel. I put her on a heal boosting artifact. She can really be on any artifact to boost healing. That's fine. I ran her relatively fast. I gave her 200 effect resistance. I think the ER is really, really important to make sure that she doesn't get silenced. And at any point in the fight, you don't want your healer controlled. Give her enough health to survive, enough speed to cycle. That's really all that's needed on her. I'm running a standard PvP Mercedes, as if there is such a thing as a PvP Mercedes anymore. If you want to go with a Destro set, it would probably be better. Hell, even a Rage set would probably be better. But you know what? The counter, sometimes it pays off, and I like counter on her. She must be on her own artifact. Build her with a lot of damage. Tankiness doesn't matter so much because she gets a free revive built into her kit. Next, I'm running Haste. There are several options to replace Haste, from Edward Elric through Lilius through Fire Charlotte. You pick your poison. The reason I like Haste is his S2 skill is a heal for your whole team. He gives Vampiric Touch. His S1 skill has a defense break. His S3 skill has a defense break. His artifact has a defense break. It makes him really help make sure defense breaks happen when I want them to happen. As for an EE, I've got him on his number 1 EE to increase my chance to defense break. That's how important it is. Running him relatively fast, lots of damage. And the third unit on the team who pulls it all together is Afternoon Soak Flan. Now, you could run her on a DPS busting artifact, put her on her own artifact. That would speed it up a little bit. Remember, Vera is predominantly immune to Daydream Joker, so don't use that. I'm running my nuclear one. I could run my RTA Flan, my Bruiser Flan, my Lifesteal one just fine, but I really, really like my nuking Flan for this because, man, she hits into those defense breaks and she just destroys Vera. Flan was built for this. So whether or not you want to go the heavy torrent pen route, any Flan should work and make this go pretty quickly. Just leave everybody's skills on, put it on auto. Haste does an AoE hit. There's a nice defense break. You get a nice heal up here. Mercedes should cleave what's left. And everything's dead. You want to make sure everything is dead, okay, before Flan takes the turn. Otherwise, you'll have to turn your Flan skills off for this, and that's a little disappointing. You want to make sure that you chew through this boss very quickly, so it does take relatively high strength. And there we go, and we're into the second phase that fast. Now make sure you turn Flan's skills off if you aren't killing, so that Flan can AoE spam there and not trigger, but I like having her skills on because I've got enough power in my team to nuke through this. Now we just need one defense break. Anybody? Anybody gonna do a defense break? That sure would be nice. Defense break, anyone? You know what? What's crazier is we don't even need a defense break here. It's that freaking strong. I've done this without ever getting a defense break. It still chews through the cocoon way before we ever get in trouble. See those provokes there? That's why you want to have your Mercedes, not Mercedes, your Mascot Hazel. That's what her name is. Mascot Hazel on 200 effect res. Okay. Here we go. Defense break. Nice. Nice attack buff for everybody here. And bam, bam. And we're out of the phase. It's just that fast. Okay, now we're into this phase here. That's one hit. You want to note that every time you do an extra hit, dual attack, double attack, it'll say damage suffered increased by a multiplier on the boss. And that's what makes this team so good, is it's so loaded with extra attacks. Got a gab there. One hit. Notice the damage suffered increased times 2. Nice heal. Show me a defense break, haste. Haste also strips with this S3, so if it's ready when you come out of the break phase, you can get rid of that pesky immunity, get the defense break on early on. This goes even faster. Yo, that's unfortunate. Damage suffered times 3. Damage suffered times 4. Damage suffered times 5. Now Haste is starting to really whip out some damage. Watch this hit. Bam, bam. Damage suffered times 6. Unfortunately, Flan will not be available on the selector. Neither will Frida, neither will Ida, neither will young Senya. You have to have had 2 banners to be available on a selector. And I believe you have to have had no banners within the past 6 months, which means very likely Laya will also not be selectable. We'll have to see. There we go, guys. This has been very, very clean, very, very fast and efficient for me. This is actually one of the slower, sloppier runs I've had, but happy endings, right? So, Devourer, Arahakan. Okay, so on this team, I run Carrot. She is here primarily to spam burns and to not be stunned. With her in the front, she is less likely to be stunned. So you want to make sure she's in the front. I like her on Edika's Scepter. You can run her on Prophetic Candlestick as well, especially with her being in the front. She doesn't need any effectiveness at all. You only care about the burns being placed on the ads, and the ads don't really have any ER. So just make sure she's fast enough to cycle and has a little bit of bulk. Suthen is really easy to gear. You just want to make sure that he is fast enough to cycle and has enough health to not die. I put him on Prophetic Candlestick because I'm out of Edika's. I like him to spam his skills. His purpose is to... There you go. Drop the 100% heal block. He sticks that heal block, and it makes this fight so much easier. Made Chloe, just have her fast with a lot of bulk. Some ER is nice. 200 ER makes sure she doesn't get stunned. Again, you do not want your healer Soul Weaver to be controlled. Now, I know she's only at 189, but this artifact gets her 20% more, so she is at 209, so she is basically immune to all forms of debuffs in this fight. And last, my anchor unit is Seaside Bologna. Again, you don't need a runner on a rage set. You can do a standard Bologna. You could do a Wyvern Bologna. She is just there to spam boatloads of attacks. If you can get some effectiveness on her, that would be nice. She is another source of heal block, which can help things out. But primarily, she is there to spam kill the ads because they attack everybody and they will trigger her passive left and right. Bloodstone will help take the edge off of the healing. I've got her on the number 3 EE, so that decreases her skill cooldown so that I can get this skill up faster and faster. Okay, everybody's skills are on once again. This one is not fast, but it's consistent. This is a walk away from the computer and let it just work. This is one that's too long to play games and have it fail at the end. You don't want to spend a half an hour doing this and having it fail. So there are ways, you can use other units. I've seen plenty of guys that use somebody in place of Carrot, that use somebody in place of Suthen to boost damage, to ramp it up. And you can totally do that, but it does add a element of RNG to it that this team doesn't seem to have. And that's mostly what I care about on this. I just want it to work. So you can see the constant attacking from the spiders is what pulls this team together. Because it constantly triggers the attack buff Seaside Bologna. Eventually we destroy all the spiders. We're spamming burns left and right, so there's always debuffs. And then the big spider takes a turn and immediately eats another AoE hit. Now, Rengar's Drink is an interesting thing on that because it is fixed damage, and the fixed damage goes through the damage mitigation, so you can actually do a little bit more damage to the main spider during the in-between phases, but why mess with perfection, right, guys? Look at that heal block on the Devourer Arahakan. The heal block from Suthen is so good. It makes sure that the spiders can never heal him, and that is the biggest issue, is him constantly healing himself back up, and that's what makes it take forever. Notice the spiders are gone before Arahakan has brought them back to life. That means we get to constantly be in a state of hitting Arahakan. The target debuff on Bologna is also really nice. It's 15% extra damage. He gets to wear that this whole time. Now he popped it back up, but the ads are already dead. And because the ads are already dead, that means we will immediately go back into the phase where we're able to blast him. And the best part is we get this little bit of a reprieve to get an attack buff on our entire team before he puts the block back on us. The block is back on us now, but we're still attack buff, meaning we're going to hit even harder. And Bologna being slowed is actually good for us here, because that means Bologna is going to maintain that attack block even longer, because most of her damage is coming from these AoE clapbacks. There's a heal block, so now the spiders take a turn. They won't even heal Arahakan. They tried to put a defense break on Carrot, but Carrot automatically self-cleanses a debuff. That's why you want her in front, so she is the most likely to take it. And this will put us out of the first threshold. We crossed the 50% mark, so he immediately is going to go back into hibernation mode, but he is still wearing the heal block from Suthen, so the spiders are not going to be spam healing his ass back up. It gives us time to break down the spiders and get back into the kill phase without worrying about him healing back up to full health. Wow, they actually hit Carrot enough to proc her. This will even be safer after the buffs, because you don't have to worry about Bologna transferring damage into Carrot, so you'll probably be able to run your Carrot even lower health after this. Pop, pop, so satisfying. And look at that, he didn't heal a dime. And we're already back into a break phase, and we're starting to chew him down. And we've all got our attack buffs. Beautiful. There's a defense break. Yep, a little bit of healing's going to happen. They all went before Suthen. That's the first bit of healing this thing's gotten, isn't it? There we go. Heal block. No more healing for you, buddy. And once again, the spiders are dead before Arahakan has entered his exposed phase, which means we have 24/7 access to doing maximum damage to this guy. I got the target debuff now too. So close, so close. Now we have to go around the horn and wait for him to summon his eggs again. Oh, mate, if you had bonked him, this would have been over. Now he's going to heal a little bit. Heal block. Look at that. Are you... Oh, you couldn't get healed there? Oh, I feel so bad for this spider. It couldn't heal up here. And it couldn't heal up here either. Suthen's so good for this. All done. So now let's go and fight the queen. Alternates for this, you can run Rowana instead of Biblis. It'll be slower and it's a little bit dodgier, but it does work. I've done it a couple times with just Rowana instead of Biblis. In place of Shadow Knight Pillis, you can run Hassel. The reason I prefer Pillis over Hassel is although Hassel does bring some damage to the team, Hassel's passive is she only reduces damage suffered by 25%, whereas Pillis, it's a solid 30% damage reduction. And that 5 extra percent damage reduction makes this stable for me. I can't build my TAM strong enough to take it on the chin with only a 25% mitigation. So that extra 5% is worth it. So that's why I run Pillis, and I say, you know what, I don't need the damage. I have got the Goddess Bellona on my team. It's a standard PvP Bellona. Destro set would probably be better, both in PvP in a Mort world and in here. Maybe I'll change her, but I legitimately can't seem to find a Destro set that I can build a better Bellona on than this counter set. It's just the way my gear is. I'll look into that and maybe change it later. You definitely want her on Sigurd's Scythe to keep her alive. Biblis, you just run her fast as possible. I've got her on Iron Fan to help cycle her. You can put her on whatever artifact you want. It doesn't really matter. And enough bulk that she doesn't take a dirt nap, and enough effectiveness, 105 minimum, so that she can stick the defense break. And Tamarin. Tamarin is the hardest one to build. 105 effectiveness, 200 effect resistance, with a lot of speed and enough bulk to not take a dirt nap. In fact, let's bulk her up even more. This is about minimum on the bulk, so this is a tough build to get. You can try running her slower, that's fine. You can put her on Prophetic Candlestick, but I really like Tome to cycle her. This is how this fight works. Everybody's skills are on, press auto, sit back and relax. Replacement for Bellona. Bellona is the one where there's actually a lot of replacements. You can run Lionheart Sirmia. She is fan-freaking-tastic here. You can run Champion Zerato, of all things. He's probably the most free-to-play option. Little harder to build because he doesn't do a lot of damage, means the fight's going to last longer, but he works. One of my favorites is Last Rider Krau. Last Rider Krau is stupid good in this. He is slower than Bellona, but he's more stable because all these AoE spam attacks keep putting up barriers, keep charging up his horse, and he just rolls over everything. The spamming of immunity is also really nice. So if you have Last Rider Krau, you might find he works better than Bellona. Now you see all this damage. You can see why the damage mitigation is important. Look at my Tamarin. Look how much health she had by the time it was her time to transform. That's why I really, really, really like having Shadow Knight Pillis on the team to keep my Bellona, or to keep my Tamarin alive. Now that we've plowed through that, we got to deal with taking some inbound hits. The 105 effectiveness on the Tam means we strip the debuffs and we can start doing damage. Start blasting through it here. More hits. Slap, slap, and that's going to trigger Bellona, and that should also trigger my... Oh no, I guess Biblis was still on cooldown, huh? Okay, Biblis, drop your S3. Reduction, attacks, spits, strips, because she's got the effectiveness, and replaces it with a defense break. And that's what's so nice about Biblis here. Unlike Rowana, Biblis has a built-in strip and defense break. Although Rowana is a stronger healer, Biblis is a better stripper defense breaker, and in this, strips and defense break are money. Constant slapbacks from Bologna. Remember, Daydream Joker does not work against the Queen, so don't think you're clever by running Lifesteal and DDJ. You're only hurting yourself here. You will not do any extra damage. Which is ironic, right? Because DDJ will appear on the screen, so it looks like it works. It says Daydream Joker when you use the skill and you're thinking it's working, but yeah, the artifact works, and then the boss ignores the extra damage. So it's just the order of operations in the game. It's not that the artifact doesn't work, it's that the boss ignores it when it happens. Biblis is a better stripper is a wild statement first thing in the morning, isn't it though? Okay, once again, we are to the point where Tamarin pushes everybody up. If she's not in Idols form, if you were unlucky enough to have her go right out of Idols and you pushed phase, it's just like round one. It's no different. And my Tamarin survived round one, she'll survive round two. So, yeah, it sucks a little bit to have to take some extra damage, but I have yet to have this fail on me. Knock on wood. You know, I say that and I jinx myself, right? But I've yet to have this team fail. Daydream Joker does not work on the Queen, Daydream Joker does not work on Devourer, and Daydream Joker does not work on Vera. And it also does not work on any expeditions. They, basically, if it's a relatively new version of PvE, they nerfed Daydream Joker. It's too strong. But it does work on all of the hunts, it does work on Karkanis, and it does work on Juleeve Council. So that's nice. Biblis spits in the Queen's face, stripping those debuffs, replacing it with a defense break. Lovely. In the home stretch here, you notice my health has never really been in jeopardy, right? The combination of Biblis and Tamarin is clean, has kept everybody pretty healthy through this whole endeavor. The strawberry cake in Our Beautiful Seasons works on every boss in the game. There's nowhere that doesn't work. Strip. What a great stripper Biblis is. There, I said it again. And that should be the last bit of damage that procs the Queen into the haha trolling you phase where you might die from poisons, but if Tam's ready to transform, she'll cleanse it. If she's already transformed, you should be good with her healing. And at very least, we know Biblis will survive any bleeds and she'll be able to step through it. GG. Good night, Queen. And there you go. This is my best team for Queen. What we got next? We got Juleeve Council. So, this is the team that I use for Juleeve Council, and I hecking love it. So, we're going to run Bystander Hua Young and the new Queen of most things PvE, Fene, and I'll run my PvP Fene. A standard RTA Fene will work just fine, but I built this one specifically for PvP or for PvE, and I have a lot of fun with it, right? You do not have to go nuts like this. A standard build Fene. I did this plenty of times with my I did this plenty of times with my injury Fene on the artifact, and injury doesn't work, the star artifact, and it still freaking worked. But I enjoyed this one, right? This worked great. And Hua Young is a standard RTA build Hua Young, right? Just a standard RTA Hua. Now, you can just 2-man it with this team, but why? Why just 2-man it? Why not make it faster? So if you don't, the alternates for these units are literally any other green unit you've got laying around, or any other, you know, DPS unit you got laying around. Now, you can use a standard PvP Galililius, but I am going to use my Galililius I built specifically for this because I got a second one, so I made a nuclear Galililius. I put her on Daydream Joker. If you use your PvP one, switch her to Daydream Joker. This slaps. This slaps hard. And as for the last spot, literally any other green unit. You can put a Soul Weaver in there if you want some added stability, but screw stability. I'm just going to run Zahak. It's just a generic Zahak on Daydream Joker because we're not using this guy anywhere else, so why not? He's not even on like fully maxed gear yet. That's pretty sad. Poor Zahak. He used to be so good in this game, right? Let's go in and kill the mosquitoes. Everybody's skills are on. Sit back and enjoy the show. Wait till you see how hard this Gala hits. It's sick. It's sick. Zahak does some damage. Good job, Zahak. Fene does some damage. Good job, Fene. Building up her injury. Good solid hit from Hua here. Brace for impact. Watch the HP bar. You'll love this. So we're into the first break phase. Yeah, 11k Hua should be fine. I wouldn't go much more glass than that, though. Now, the one thing you've got here is because you're multicolor, because you're not all green, you don't know which bug is which. But that's okay, because we're doing it on auto anyway, and the game doesn't automatically select the right bug, so you just kind of hope you get the right one. We didn't get the right one. Fight's going to go a little longer. Hopefully this is the right one. If the fight goes too long, then you do run the risk of having your green DPS units die. There we go. That was the right one. And you don't want your green DPS units to die because it makes it go faster. But if they die, again, Hua and Fene solo this thing. Get him, Fene. Big hit from Gala. Boom! And we're into the second break phase. Hopefully that's the right one because we're going to struggle to stay alive, I think. Chomp. Push up. I think those Venoms might kill Zahak this round. Oh, they guessed right. Good job, guys. The Hawk is down. That's okay. He did his job. Oh, I think Gala is down too. It's too bad. I think she was ready to do her S3 here. Oh, nope, she survived and heals up a little bit. Now you might be thinking, oh no, you can't soul burn though. We don't care. We really don't care. Mosquitoes have their big angry face on. Take some big hits. We lost our Gala, but that's okay. She did her entire job, which was to speed things up so these guys could two-man it. Game over. They can literally two-man it. The other people, they were just there to help move it along. we got one last stop. The Executioner Karkanis. For this, we want to run an all-ice team. You want a good solid healer in the front. You can run Angelic Montmorency, you can run DN, you can run Elena, you can run Amelia. I have found Angelic Montmorency is the strongest healer and the easiest to build. So Angelic Montmorency, any Soul Weaver will work. Ice Angelica, DN, Elena, Amelia, but Momo I think is the best for this. You want her to be fast because you want to cycle her heals. You want to make sure she's there to remove the debuffs from people. So 200 ER minimum, try to keep her above 200 speed, give her enough bulk that she doesn't die because she's going to be on the front line taking shots to the face. Next, we're going to run everybody's favorite rat, Shu. For Shu, you're going to want to put her on Daydream Joker, and that is not a tall ask because everybody has got a really nice Shu built for PvP, and then nobody uses her. When was the last time you used Shu in RTA? Really? When was the last time, right? It's 2025. This is a PvE unit. Put her on a PvE artifact. I've got her on counter set, not required. You could run a Destro set. That would be fine too. Destro might actually even be better for this. Got her on her number 1 EE. Give her the extra chance to whoosh. You want that. Next, we are going to be running the god of all things PvE, Brieg. Brieg is our defense breaker, our stripper, our partial damage dealer. Now, I've got Brieg on the Sword of Azera. You do not have to run him on this artifact. This artifact is best in slot for doing Dark Expedition, and it's the only reason he's on it. You can run any other better artifact for this. You can put him on an Arius. You can put him on a Wings of Light and Shadow, you know, all kinds of different artifacts for him. 85% crit chance is enough. We're fighting a fire boss, so that's technically 100. 175 speed is my speed of choice because, again, best in slot for Dark Expedition. Everything here is centered around Dark Expedition, guys. Just your standard Brieg. You don't have to do anything special with them. And this one's going to blow you away. There's two options here that are the best in slot, but one is just a little more best than the other. First is Yuna. That's right, Yuna. The reason is every single one of Yuna's skills are AoE. And if you run Yuna fast, that gives you a really good chance to knock this guy out of stealth before he gets barriers. So I love running Yuna for this, and you can put her on Bloodstone for additional healing, but there is a better option. If you don't have her, just run Yuna. But if you do have her, it's Dizzy's time, guys. It's Dizzy's time. You run Dizzy on Abyssal Crown, right? Yes, Queen Dizzy, okay? Reason for this is her S1 skill has a built-in 25% chance to stun with an additional 30% chance to stun off of Abyssal Crown. You can't stun the boss, but you can stun those little rat shit spiders that are in front that constantly cleanse the boss, give them barriers, and debuff your team. Controlling those guys makes this so fast and so clean. You guys are gonna love it. 100 effectiveness just because she's Dizzy. 200 effect resistance to keep debuffs off. That's 2 units on my team with 200 ER, so I'm even less likely to take debuffs. And enough speed and bulk to make sure she cycles, because you want her to take lots and lots and lots of turns. A base speed Dizzy isn't going to work. You want her to take lots of turns so she's got a better chance of stripping away that stealth. All right, so this is the team that does still have some RNG to it because you're on a timer with this team. The longer this fight goes, the harder Karkanis hits, and eventually Karkanis will hit so hard to start one-shotting your units. You want to make sure Dizzy's skills are turned off. This is critical. Dizzy's S3 always misses. It's built into her kit, and because it always misses, it's going to trigger and piss off Karkanis, cleanse him, make him attack again. So she has to have her skills off. Already we got one of those add stunned. That's one less chance of being debuffed we have to take. Brieg is going to defense break and slow because he's a Chad. Shu's going to give us some anti-crit to help us not take some damage. We're already down to about 92%. Oh, sorry, what was that? About 87% damage on there. Resistance. Another hit. Brieg runs in, does some more damage. And Shu pushes phase. So now we're into the break phase. But look at Dizzy. Where'd the stealth go? Dizzy stripped it because she's so good here. The AoE, and that would work with Yuna too. The AoE strip is so good on this. Now, of course, sometimes the ads go first and they put the barrier up on top of the strip, on top of the barrier, and that's a pain in the ass. You can run Dizzy on Elia's Violin to try to help remove the barrier, but you're still gonna not see the stealth underneath of it. So I just prefer the control of the stuns of Abyssal Crown, but you can experiment with both. Uh-oh, the boss is stealthed again, except the boss is not stealthed because Dizzy's amazing, and now we have gotten past the threshold where the speed buff is up and permanent. Once the speed buff is up here, he can no longer stealth. He's going to start doing injury and is going to start hitting a lot harder, so you got to deal with that. Your Momo's going to get hurt pretty bad, but as long as we can keep those ads stunned and keep our Shu non-debuffed, will do damage. Momo cycles so fast, cleansing the debuffs is easy. Resist. Come on, Momo, don't you die on me. We get a defense break here off of Brieg. No, we get a slow because 15% in PvE is a thing, and we all love it. Who doesn't love a little 15% in PvE to slow the fight down, right? It's okay. The bugs were going to cleanse that defense break anyway. By the way, at any point in time now, you could turn auto off and just soul burn your Shu to win. Because Shu is like Spectre Tenebria. You can soul burn her S1 as much as you want. So, because you can soul burn her S1 as much as you want, as soon as it's her turn, turn auto off, soul burn, and beat the ever-loving crap out of Karkanis. My Momo might not survive this. I'm a little bit worried for poor Momo there. No, stop hitting Momo. You're stunned. Hooray. No, Momo's dead. That's okay. Double stun. Shu, can you bring this home for me? Good job, Rat. Good job. I'd say this is about a 95% win rate, and it's fast. Something we don't really have for Karkanis. It's fast. A little disappointing that Momo died. Maybe I need to put a little more HP on Momo. Maybe make her a little bit tankier. I don't know, but there you go. That is a tour of my favorite Labyrinth teams. There are other options, and if they work for you, use them. By all means, keep using them. There's no reason to not use what's working. Don't fix what isn't broken. But there you go. So if you have any questions, ask them in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And thanks for being here, guys. Good luck farming your Labyrinth.